Number 10. The fish that was dead for 66 million years. The coelacanth was supposed to be extinct. Every scientist agreed it died with the dinosaurs. Case closed. Textbooks printed it. Museums displayed fossils. Then, on December 22, 1938, a museum curator in South Africa named Marjorie Courtenay Latimer was checking the local fishing docks. Buried in a pile of sharks and starfish, she spotted a fin. She picked away at the slime and discovered what she called the most beautiful fish she had ever seen. 5 feet long, pale mauve blue, hard scales, 4 strange limb-like fins. She sent sketches to a fish expert named J.L.B. Smith. His response was basically controlled panic. When he finally saw it, he wrote that the first sight hit him like a white-hot blast, scale by scale, bone by bone. It was a true coelacanth, a living fossil that was not supposed to exist. Scientists assumed this was a freak. Then more were found near the Comoro Islands, then off Kenya, Tanzania, Madagascar. And in 1997, a completely different species was discovered in Indonesia, 6,000 miles away. The coelacanth did not just survive. It survived in multiple places for 66 million years without anyone noticing. These fish can live up to 100 years. They give birth to live young. The coelacanth saw the dinosaurs die, watched mammals take over, witnessed humans build cities, and just kept swimming. Number 9. The bird that was hiding on a mountain the whole time. The takahe is a flightless bird from New Zealand. It is bright blue and green, with a scarlet beak and scarlet legs. It cannot fly, and it cannot run fast, making it an easy target. By 1898, scientists declared it extinct. Humans and introduced predators had wiped them out. Then, on November 20, 1948, a doctor named Jeffrey Orbell led a team into the remote Murchison Mountains. He had heard strange bird calls while hiking and had seen unusual footprints. Most people thought he was chasing ghosts. In a snowgrass clearing, within minutes of arriving, they spotted a takahe, and then another. They stood about half a meter high, staring at the team with complete indifference. A bird presumed dead for 50 years had just been there, on a mountain nobody had bothered to check. When Orbell found them, there were maybe 250 to 500 left. Today, after decades of intensive conservation, there are around 500, still critically endangered, still flightless, but definitely not extinct. Number 8. The stick insect that lived under one bush. Lord Howe Island had a giant stick insect the size of a human hand, up to 20 centimeters long and jet black. The locals called it the tree lobster. Then in 1918, a ship ran aground and black rats poured onto the island. By 1920, the stick insects were gone, declared extinct. Except in the 1960s, rock climbers scaling a nearby volcanic sea stack called Ball's Pyramid started finding dead stick insect bodies, fresh ones. Ball's Pyramid is basically a giant rock sticking 562 meters out of the ocean. Almost nothing grows there. In 2001, scientists climbed it at night with headlamps and found them, living stick insects, on one bush, on a rock, in the middle of the ocean. They counted exactly 24 individuals. The entire species had survived for 80 years under one plant. Scientists collected 2 breeding pairs in 2003. The female was nicknamed Eve. As of 2016, Melbourne Zoo had hatched over 13,000 individuals from her descendants. The whole species came back from one bush. Number 7. The ferret saved by its own enemy. Black-footed ferrets eat prairie dogs. That's basically their entire personality. Prairie dogs make up 90% of their diet. They live in prairie dog burrows. Their entire existence revolves around prairie dogs. When ranchers started poisoning prairie dog colonies, the ferrets had nothing to eat. By 1979, scientists declared them extinct. Then on September 26, 1981, a ranch dog named Shep in Wyoming brought home what his owners thought was an unusual skunk. It was a black-footed ferret. Wildlife officials searched the ranch and found about 129 ferrets living secretly in the prairie dog colonies. Then disease hit. Sylvatic plague and canine distemper devastated them. By 1987, only 18 ferrets remained. Scientists captured every single one. Today, there are around 350 to 500 in the wild. Over 10,500 ferret kits have been born through breeding programs. The entire species was saved because one ranch dog brought a dead ferret home like a present. Number 6. The bird that came back after 330 years. The Bermuda petrel, called the cahow, was abundant when Spanish sailors arrived in the 1500s. So friendly they would land on people. Easy to eat. Sailors took thousands for food. Then they brought pigs that destroyed the nests. By 1620, the cahow was gone. But birds kept showing up. In 1935, one hit a lighthouse. In 1941, another crashed into a radio tower. On January 28, 1951, ornithologist Robert Cushman Murphy and a 15-year-old local boy named David Wingate searched tiny islands in Castle Harbor. They found a deep tunnel in a cliff. They went in and pulled out a living cahow. This was the first confirmed sighting in 330 years. Murphy's famous words were, "By gad, the cahow." They found 7 nesting pairs. 7. That is it. That teenager devoted his entire life to saving them. Today, there are around 150 breeding pairs. The cahow survived by being so rare that humans forgot to finish killing them. Number 5. The horse that never existed in the wild. Przewalski's horse is the last truly wild horse species. Every other wild horse is technically feral, domesticated horses that escaped. Przewalski's horses were never domesticated. They roamed Mongolia for over 160,000 years. Then they started disappearing. Habitat loss, harsh winters, expeditions to capture them for zoos. The last wild sighting was in 1969, extinct in the wild. But zoos had about 12 individuals. From this tiny group, every single Przewalski's horse alive today descends. Scientists managed breeding carefully. In the 1990s, they started releasing them back into Mongolia. Today, there are around 2,000 Przewalski's horses. Many roam free in Mongolia and China. In 2011, their status changed from extinct in the wild to endangered. They went from 12 to 2,000 by refusing to give up. Number 4. The parrot. Nobody had seen in 100 years. The night parrot of Australia is one of the most mysterious birds on Earth. Nocturnal, lives in the desert. The last confirmed sighting was 1912. For over a century, it was presumed extinct. Occasionally, someone claimed to see one. No proof. Then in 2013, a naturalist captured footage of one, alive, just wandering around the Australian desert as if it had not been missing for a century. Since then, researchers have found small populations in remote areas. Nobody knows how many exist. The night parrot survived by being so good at hiding that humans gave up looking. Number 3. The tree that outlived the dinosaurs. The Wollemi pine existed 200 million years ago. Scientists knew it only from fossils. It supposedly died out 2 million years ago. Then in 1994, a park ranger hiking in a remote Australian canyon looked down and saw trees that did not match anything alive. Living Wollemi pines, trees that predated the dinosaurs. Fewer than 100 adult trees exist in the wild. One canyon. The location is classified. Scientists are terrified someone will introduce a disease. You can actually buy a dinosaur-era tree at some garden centers now. But the wild population is still under 100. In one canyon, nobody is allowed to visit. Number 2. The giant lizard living in a crack. La Palma in the Canary Islands had a giant lizard. It was half a meter long. Scientists declared it extinct in the 1500s. Then in 2007, researchers found a tiny population clinging to cliff faces so steep that predators could not reach them. About 500 years of presumed extinction, and they were just chilling on a cliff. There were only about 50 individuals. The La Palma giant lizard survived 5 centuries by living somewhere too annoying to reach. Number 1. The animal that went extinct twice. The Pyrenean ibex was a wild goat from the Pyrenees Mountains, a beautiful creature with large curved horns. Hunters loved them. By 1997, only one was left. Her name was Celia. In 1999, wildlife veterinarian Alberto Fernandez Arias captured her, took tissue samples, then released her. Those cells were frozen at -196 degrees Celsius. On January 6, 2000, Celia was found dead, crushed by a fallen tree. The Pyrenean ibex was officially extinct, but scientists had her cells. They spent years trying to clone her. They implanted 57 embryos into hybrid goats. 7 got pregnant, 6 miscarried. 1 carried the clone to term. On July 30, 2003, a female Pyrenean ibex was born. It was the first time in history an extinct species was brought back to life. The clone lived for 7 minutes. She had a lung defect, an extra lobe that grew solid. There was nothing anyone could do. The Pyrenean ibex went extinct, came back from extinction, and went extinct again, all within a decade. The only species in history to go extinct twice. Scientists are still working on de-extinction technology. Celia's cells remain frozen. The ibex might come back a 3rd time. At this point, it is just stubborn. That's all for today. Part 2 is coming, with even weirder ones. Subscribe so you don't miss.